Thank you. Oh my goodness, you guys. I have to say I was very, very nervous to do this. I actually went online YouTubing commencement speeches last night, because yes, I wrote this last minute, and it's a tactic that Ramapo taught me to use. For using the phrase "not too deep." I want to thank the family, the friends, faculty, alumni, trustees, and the distinguished others that have migrated here tonight. I also want to preemptively apologize to you because when I looked up the definition of commencement speaker, I did because I researched things that I'm involved in last minute. It is someone that gives the commencement address to the graduating class. So I'm sorry, I won't be talking to the rest of you throughout this. You can talk amongst yourselves, but feel free to listen. This is for you guys. Hi guys, congratulations, this is so cool. You all were the same thing, how embarrassing. Now really, I want you guys to take this moment in to really feel present in this moment. Don't feel a need to Instagram this, to tweet it, Snapchat it, to Periscope it. I mean, if you do, hashtag Grace Helbig, I'm at Grace Helbig across all social media platforms if you need it. But I really want you to take an opportunity to just feel what this feels like, because when I graduated in 2007, I didn't. And I really regret it. I graduated in 2007, and no offense to Ramapo, but I was really expletive excited to get the expletive out of college. I mean, if I had my way, I think the month after freshman orientation, walking through that arch, I would have turned back around and walked right back out and been like, I did it, I did the arching ceremony, am I done? Now, you see, during my 4 years at Ramapo, and even after I graduated, I had this kind of bitter, sinking feeling that I didn't fully enjoy my college experience. You see, I was very shy, and I was very socially awkward when I was in college, so I didn't go to many parties, I didn't have many friends. I went to maybe a handful of parties, and I had maybe a handful of friends. Instead, I filled all of my free time working. Every semester I had at least 2 jobs off campus. I had an internship usually in the city, and I took as many credits as I could every semester so I could graduate as fast as humanly possible. And this sort of lifestyle led to a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety and just this constant bitterness that Ramapo wasn't providing me the experience that I wanted, that Ramapo wasn't enough. And I mean, every time I said I went to Ramapo, when someone asked me where I went to school, they said, what? And I said, Ramapo College. And they said, what? And I said, it's a real college, I swear. Our mascot is a road runner. And we have a campus, I swear, it's covered in skunks. And we have great professors, I swear. We have this guy that walks backwards around the campus because he thinks it's a better way to exercise. You guys still have that guy? Yeah, he's great. I don't know what he taught, but he was there. There he is. That's what he's doing now. I tried to explain so much about my college, and the more I tried to explain it, the more it sounded fake, and I just had this lingering bitterness just fueled by it. And side note to parents, I swear I'm getting to a point. Ramapo didn't just like bring me in to piss on the school that you spent thousands of dollars on for your kids. We're on this speech journey together, so please just be patient. It will make sense, hopefully. So towards the end of my college experience, I graduated and I got really into improv comedy in New York City, and I was performing at the People's Improv Theater regularly, and there I learned a concept that changed my entire life. Follow your fear. Yeah, let it sink in. See, improv is inherently terrifying. It's you on a stage in front of an audience trying to make up comedy on the spot with no script, just yourself, your your brain and your mouth and your other partners on stage. And who would voluntarily agree to do that? People who follow their fear. And I have this belief that there are two types of fear. And there are the real physical fears that exist, snakes, sharks, small places, the Real Housewives franchise, and fears of disappearing. Those are real fears. Don't let anyone tell you that they are not. But then there's the second category of fear. There's good fears. Fears that are born out of love and out of ambition. The things that you're afraid of because you care about them so much. The opportunities you're afraid to take because you don't want to screw them up, and the people you're afraid to talk to because you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of them, and the paths that you are too afraid to take because it seems too uncertain, too unpredictable, and just too uncomfortable. But when you're uncomfortable, that's when things get really interesting. See, after I graduated, I waited tables for a couple months at the Olive Garden in New Brunswick. You're welcome, New Brunswick. It's a place in New Jersey, yep. And then finally, I got hired by one of my internships at Viacom, and I worked in project management, and I was so excited. I thought, yeah, Ramapo, hey, you did it. You got me a job. That's why I went to you, right? Great. And when I got to my office the first week, I thought, I have arrived. And I quickly learned that my job in project management boiled down to keeping our in-house graphic designer on task. I had to do things like call her at her apartment in the morning when she was late for work and ask her when she was going to be at work, even though she lived 3 blocks away. And also call her after lunch when I found out that she had gone back to her apartment to take care of her cat and ask when she would be back at work. And that was it. That was my job. But that was okay, because it was a 9-to-5 job in an office that I knew, and people that I knew, and fluorescent lights that I knew, and I knew when it was the best time to poop in the public bathroom. I just knew it, and I was comfortable with it. And then I realized that I was comfortable. And I was so bummed. I found out that the only thing I was looking forward to every week were the improv shows that I had once a week, because that actually made me feel nervous and excited. It actually made me feel something. And so I lasted about 3 months at that job before I couldn't take it anymore, and I finally quit to go back to waiting tables and to pursue the career that scared me, comedy. But the more I kept doing improv and the more I kept following my fear, the more I realized that being uncomfortable is truly being alive. Much like an improv show, life is a series of these beautiful and awkward and random and delightful and inspiring and painful and terrifying and just all around uncomfortable moments. And we're all feeling them all the time, constantly together, and that's very cool. And when I look back at my experience at Ramapo, I realized that I wasn't bitter because Ramapo wasn't enough. Ramapo is great. I'm bitter because I wasn't enough. I wasn't doing enough to face my fears. I wasn't putting myself in situations that made me uncomfortable just to see what happened, because life will give you what you put into it. I mean, you can't just sit in your dorm and hope that a TGI Fridays blue goblet of liquor shows up. You have to get your fake ID and get it.
Yes.
And yes, look, failure is an option, and failure can be extremely scary, and it can keep you from chasing chances, but quite honestly, I think it is way more terrifying to be boring than to be a failure. Failures are what make you interesting, and they're what give you perspective, and they're what get you millions of views on YouTube.
Yes.
Have you ever seen someone at a party and they seem so perfect? They seem like life was just handed to them on like a silver platter, and they've never done anything wrong in their whole lives, and they couldn't possibly fail at anything. I hate that kind of person.